some of the claims you just mentioned. First of all, one of the negative advocates was mentioning that we're creating a false dilemma. But actually, according to Jonathan Cunha, who talks about deliberative public spheres, how net neutrality enables democracy from Northeastern University, he says more disagreements between people like us regarding net neutrality lead to impasses of desperate political parties, but the function of our democracy to serve the will of the people, not mega corporations. And they mentioned that there hasn't been really mergers of these mega corporations, but actually they failed to listen to when I mentioned what Ray Lynn of UC Berkeley said, that recently, after the merger of two telecommunication companies, AT&T and SBC, were in talks of tiering. I guess they didn't understand it either. And also, they mentioned that consumers will face high costs with our net neutrality, but actually, prices for the internet will decrease in competition. Again, another point made by Ray Lynn, that when there's competition in the marketplace, when net neutrality is enforced, we will have a lower price for the consumers. Okay, they mentioned also that important transactions take place online. Well, try paying your bill when your speed is throttled to really slow kilobytes per second. How fun is that? Also, these throttling speeds can really keep you from paying bills. In fact, the internet, they mentioned that the internet is completely changing currently with the status quo. Of course, mega corporations love that. In fact, they also mentioned that the internet is flourishing when companies are free to compete. But the harms with this is that mega corporations step in and keep the little guys out of small business. So they end up becoming pretty much like a gatekeeper for the internet. Also, the telecommunication companies, they're going to discriminate with their market power. They don't care about the small guy. The result, they will use their power to discriminate what content is fastest and most reliable. In essence, they become gatekeepers of what content is shown on the internet. Imagine if mega corporations, which they want, prefer certain type of content to work better. Look at this scenario. Imagine adult entertainment websites working faster than emergency services with remote internet connection. That would be detrimental to our safety. Plus, they mentioned that the other advocate mentioned regulate. She reiterated that. But our government functions on constitutional doctrines, but the mega corporations function through money-hungry tactics. Also, they mentioned we're doing a shutdown scare tactic, but it's true. The end of the internet, it really is possible. And they mentioned why should we temper? Well, I'm surprised by that. It's becoming from a supporter of the status quo, which is starting to allow mega corporations to take significant control. The people's prices will not go up with net neutrality. What about mega corporations who like to monopolize our markets? They will have mercy on the consumer. And lastly, according to CNN News, they say, look at Mexico, where Mexicans pay some of the highest cell phone services because there's no regulation from the government. We already have an example from our own neighbor.